merciful, followers of Gauranga. Happy New Gauranga year, 531. Gauranga is very merciful. Krishna is merciful. Radharani is more merciful. She is, it's even difficult. Krishna is unlimitedly merciful. But she is unlimitedly more merciful. So then they combine. and then they come as Gauranga. How much mercy is there? I suppose enough for all of us. So what is this mercy? What is Krishna's mercy? Brahma Gopinath said that I often say something new. That's certainly with Krishna very easy, because you say the same thing and it's always new. Krishna is ever fresh. Krishna is transcendental. Transcendental means that you can never know anything about him completely. He is unlimited. There is unlimited depth. Unlimited depth in Krishna's qualities. Even our Sampradaya Acharya Brahmaji in the Bhagavatam says that I don't know Krishna, Shiva doesn't know Krishna, Krishna himself doesn't know the limits of his glory. Of course, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that it's no defect if you don't know something that does not exist. So because the limits of Krishna's glory do not exist, doesn't have limits, so it's no problem if he doesn't know them. And Prabhupada in the purport there says that there is an eternal competition between devotees and Krishna, because devotees want to see Krishna happy, and they try to make Krishna happy, and Krishna becomes a little bit more happy than he was before, because devotees try to make him more happy. And then he becomes a little bit more happy, and then devotee becomes a little bit more happy also, because he's successful, he made Krishna a little happier. And then Krishna says, oh, the devotee has become a little more happy. And then Krishna becomes even more happy. And then the devotee says, oh, Krishna has become even more happy. And then the devotee becomes more happy. And then Krishna notices, oh, the devotee has become even more happy. And this way I can continue for several days and I will never reach the end. So it is unlimited. Unlimited competition of bliss, of happiness. But what kind of happiness? So this is a good question. Yes, we want happiness, all of us, however we understand this happiness. Even anarchists want happiness, with their peculiar understanding of happiness. However, we want happiness, and oftentimes people think that, yes, actually it's our great benefactor, George Harrison, Harrison, we should say, right? In his Krishna book, he says, all you need is love. And then again, all you need is love. And then again, all you need is love. And then love is all you need. Yeah, you can Misha has a better version of this. He can sing it for you. But what kind of love, actually, do we need? One joke has made a big impression upon me several years ago. Two friends are talking, and one is asking the other, hey Joe, do you like tomatoes? Do you love tomatoes? The Joe says, well, to eat, yes. Otherwise, no. There is some love, right? To eat. What kind of love do we need? We need that somebody loves us as a tomato. I assure you, you don't. You won't like it after some time. Is it that somebody loves us as a person? Also, this is one of the reasons. If for example, the parents don't have proper appreciation of the personality of a child, then teenage years are when the teenagers rebel against the parents' love, even though it's love. They rebel. Because this was my experience when I met my Guru Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He looked at me and I was surprised because somebody looked actually at me. So because relatives love me as a body, right? That's why whenever you call or write to your parents, the first thing you say is, I have eaten and I'm well dressed. I wear warm clothes. Yeah? That's the main question they have. So, have you eaten? And are you dressed properly? So you can start with it. Yes, I have eaten. And yes, I have a cap. Socks. I'm wearing socks. But that's not enough. Right? We are more than just the body to be kept warm and not hungry. So then we have some acquaintances. Acquaintances are those who like us as the mind. They like our style, they like our behavior, like our character in general. So the mind, mental side. We are not the mind either. So then we have maybe a few friends who like us as the intelligence. And with them we can get together and discuss philosophy. Like sit together and say, material world sucks. But spiritual life is great. Yeah. So, and we are lucky if we have a few like that. We can discuss the platform of intelligence. But that's not enough either. Yeah, so this was, for me, a special experience when the spiritual master looked at me. And I saw he doesn't look at me as a body, doesn't look at me as the mind, and not as the intelligence either, but looks at me as me. I said, wow, somebody actually looks at me. Hare, wonderful. So yeah, blessings for spiritual life. And still, I must say. So love, right? So love, it's good if somebody, first of all, sees us, loves us as a person. Not just the body, mind, intelligence or something, but as a person who is inside of all of this. It's important. And even then, it's something else is needed. What is needed? You all know, I'm sure. But before we come to the answer to this question, what else is needed? Even you are loved. What else is needed? I want to share with you the story which I like very much for some hard to explain reason from Chaitanya Lila. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 531 years ago on this beautiful Purnima. That was a special occasion. Everybody was chanting the names of Krishna because it was a special day of eclipse. Everybody was taking bath, chanting the names of Krishna. And on dandavats.com yesterday, Mahaprabhu has published an article about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's horoscope, his chart. That's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In chapter 13, in all detail. We have Leo Lagna, Leo Ascendant, and usually you can notice that all the avatars have a very strong fifth house. All of them. It's very interesting. So whenever you can find a chart of actual avatar, that's how they study in India, astrology, then you will see that the fifth house is super powerful, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has Jupiter in his own house, in the fifth house. In Rashi and also in other harmonic charts, also very strong. So, therefore, his grandfather Vishwan who was a great astrologer. It was science for big scholars. It's not cheap science that you see in the newspaper nowadays. At the end of the newspaper, this week you can expect this. It's just a small reflection. Oh, thank you. Very nice. Small reflection. And he said, yes, this we should call him Vishwambar. So he gave him several names, great names. And they knew this is Krishna. Advaita Acharya knew and that something is happening, that today is a very special day. Also, what first pastimes do you know of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? What some of the earliest pastimes do you know? The earliest pastime, one of the earliest pastimes. recently, one little video made circles on internet, gathering millions and millions of views. One devotee, Hare recently, I think 2 years ago, he got a son, and so he took a little video of how the son is crying. Until he and the mother started chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and he listens. And then again, they stop, and then again, Hare Krishna, he stops crying. So that's actually a bona fide pastime for a child. It's very authorized. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the main and first who showed it. He made everybody chant Hare Krishna. Because they noticed, as soon as they chant Hare Krishna, he stops crying. So that was his earliest pastime. He just appeared. He already made everybody chant Hare Krishna. So, one of the earliest pastimes. And then throughout his life, he did many amazing things. Some more amazing, some even more amazing. And I'm sure all of you have, I hope all of you have some favorite pastimes that you like in Chaitanya. If not, you must quickly find some. How do you do this? You get Chaitanya Charitamrita, you get Chaitanya Bhagavata, which, by the way, we already have audio of, at least the texts. 2 audios in English of Chaitanya Charitamrita, also 2 of Chaitanya Bhagavata. And if you know other languages, you have a German also, with the purpose also. So you can listen and find which pastime is your favorite in Gaura Lila. And when Niranjana Maharaj was asked, he said his favorite pastime in Gaura Lila is the pastime with Kolavacha Sridhar. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was coming and teasing Kolavacha Sridhar, trying to get pumpkins, cups and bananas, and can you imagine bargaining with Sridhar? When Prabhupada came to New York, he started bargaining in the supermarket. In many Oriental bazaars, if you don't argue, that's a disrespect. It's disrespectful to the merchant, Why do you not? Unless you already have an established relationship. And interestingly enough, the shop assistant girl, actually Prabhupada was buying some spices, and then he said, it's $4. And Prabhupada said, no, it's $2. I said, no, sir, it's $4. He said, no, it's $2. I know the price. Which is the correct way to argue. You must know the price. Not just bring it up, but you must know the price. And she was actually so charmed that she actually sold. She got $2 from her pocket and she sold it for $4 to Shiva Prabhupada. Anyway, there's some early pastimes of Prabhupada. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come to Kolavacha Sridhar, and Kolavacha Sridhar was already selling super cheap. He was not greedy at all. He, in fact, was doing this just to keep his Ganga worship. He didn't even have a roof without holes. His roof had holes. So when it was raining, it was dropping on him. But he didn't mind, because he was, always in ecstasy. So, and even from that little money, he used half for Ganga Puja. So he just did this as his duty. And he never charged a lot. So but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, he would come and he would say, how much are these bananas? And Kolavacha Sridhar would say, well, they are, one tarzan, one dozen is 1 paisa, half paisa or something like that. 1 kori or 2 koris, conch shell they used as coins. And Nimai would say, this is too much. No, it should be less. And Sridhar would say, no, you go in the market, you look, nobody has such prices as I have. And Nimai said, no, you are a secret capitalist. You are hoarding, one day I I will expose you. You are hoarding some treasures in your heart. And sometimes he would just take and said, you are always overcharging me. So today I will just take this pumpkin and cook the porridge with it. And Sridhar would say, hey, sir, Prabhu, Panditji, this is, no, you should pay. And then he would think, oh, anyway. Actually, it's strange. This is not my favorite pastime, so I'll just repeat it. Don't ask me how, you know. It sounds a little strange now. At least he didn't beat me. So imagine that happened, you know. And then he said that, anyway, I didn't know that I have something to give to the brahmanas. Now it turns out I could have given a pumpkin. So it's nice, let it be a donation to the brahmanas. So he would offer this, let go, so he would offer this. So, to me it sounds strange, you know, but maybe to some of you, if it sounds strange, it's okay, I understand. But when Mahaprabhu was actually performing his Shat Praharya Mahaprakash, I think, he was manifesting that he is God, and he was telling everybody that I was the one who saved you, I was the one who, when you were in trouble, I came as the boatman, I came as a doctor, I came as this, as that, and I helped you. He was telling everybody, and he would give blessings to all the devotees. Whatever they asked, all the blessings they wanted, he was giving to everybody. And he was showing that he's God. And then he said, please bring me Sridhar. And they said, who? You know, the Kolavacha Sridhar. And I said, you don't know who this is? And then he said, well, you go to, actually now you can go there, Bhaktisiddhantaji found it. It's between Advaita Bhavan and Jagannath Mandir. So behind Jagannath Mandir, if you go into the field, you can find a little temple. That's Kolavacha Sridhar's house, old house. I mean, that's where the house was. So he told them, you go there, out of the village, and then listen. What will you hear? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. In the night, that's Sridhar. So you bring him. So they brought, and so Mahaprabhu Nimai said that, oh Sridhar, I'm so happy with you, with your devotion. So I want to give you any blessings. So please ask me for something. And Sridhar said, oh Mahaprabhu, I have no desires. Then he said, no, ask me. I will give you liberation. I will take you to the spiritual world. He said, oh, Mahaprabhu, I'm not satisfied. And he said, I will give you 8 mystic powers. Or I will make you Lord Brahma, the first living entity in the universe, the controller of the universe. And she would say, no, not this, please. No, please. I'll make you a king. No. No, not the king, please, not the king. So then Nimai told Sridhar, please, make me happy, ask for something. For my pleasure. Not for yourself, but for my pleasure. Ask for something. And then Sridhar, he said, well, what should I ask for? Okay, if you want to give me some blessing, okay, then life after life, let me be this pumpkin and banana leaf seller, and life after life, you come as my pandit and tease me. How do you say tease? Yeah. So you can see that he was actually very happy with this. He was very happy. Although Nimai Pandit Gauranga was taking things from him, but he was happy. So this brings us to the question I asked: what is needed more than the situation when you are loved for who you are? It's not enough to make you happy. When you're loved, it's definitely not enough. 100% not enough. Yes, you need to love. You need to love. If you don't love, it doesn't matter if you're loved or not. I mean, of course, it makes it easier to live, but it's not enough to be happy. You can be actually miserable. And again, what love is, means not to get, but to give. And this is what Sridhar Kolacha demonstrates. He's very happy in not to get, but to give and to serve. And you can see he's so happy, he doesn't care about being a king, doesn't care about having all the mystic powers, he doesn't care about being the top, most powerful living entity in the universe, even about liberation, going out of this material. He doesn't care. He's so happy. He's so satisfied in his loving service. So this brings me to my favorite pastime, which is very suspicious why it is very favorite, but I will tell it anyway. I already told you before, but it's so nice I will tell it again. It's still nice. Hope, at least for me. If not, you just tolerate it. You just tolerate it. So this is Chaitanya Bhagavata, chapter 12, from Adhikanda. So this is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was still in Navadvip. He was a young, brilliant scholar. And this was just on the verge when this was before he openly started the Sankirtan movement, the movement of chanting and singing the holy names and playing music. So, no, they passed them. Hare. So, everybody, you definitely should, Bhaktisiddhantaji said that everybody should read Chaitanya Bhagavata 100 times. And then he said that all over the world people will learn Bengali to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in Prabhupada's books it's easy to do because Prabhupada can just read word for word. And then by the time you finish Chaitanya, the first few volumes you will start understanding a lot from Bengali. It's a sweet language. You already have it. It's enough. So, this is the story about how Gauranga was going for a walk in the Navadvip town. His night on the town. He was going out to see what's up in the town. And even demigods, even great yogis, even great saints may have to do austerity for thousands of years before they can see him. It's not cheap to see God. Yes, well, you know from all the traditions, when somebody sees God, it's an extremely high accomplishment. It's an extremely rare achievement. But here, Nimai Pandit would himself go out into the city. Navadvip was a great learning center. Something, Navadvip in that time sounded something like Oxford, Oxford, Harvard, some great place of learning. In fact, Navadvip was famous for logic. It's an extremely powerful school of logic. Navya. Closer, huh? I will go this anyway. This way, there's at least a chance I will postpone my lunch a little longer. Hare Krishna, like this, yeah. Too authorized. Surrender to Gauranga. Yes, so even great saints and yogis have to struggle to see him, but here he himself goes out to meet different people. So so he goes onto the street, and the first person he sees is the clothes merchant, person who sells dhopis and saris. I'm sure if you have been to India, you definitely have seen some. And if you didn't look at them, and you were going nearby, for example, in Loy Bazaar, then definitely you have heard them. Because you would be passing down the Loy Bazaar and they would say, Prabhu, Haribol, Haribol. I don't know how do they address ladies. Mataji, yeah, Mataji, Mataji, Haribol. My friend always says, look, you do what he says. He says Haribol, you do Haribol. You chant Hare Krishna. Don't look at him, just chant. He says Haribol, chant Hari. So you chant Hari. Don't go there. Migration problem. We have some space here. So the clothes merchant. So the first you might see. So he comes in. I'm sure that this clothes merchant he invited. I don't know if they were saying very well, but I don't know how they invited. But they invited certainly everybody. So he comes in and he says, "What good clothes do you have?" So he would show, okay, this is like this. This is that cloth. This is silk. This is cotton. This is. Good cotton at that time. Good quality cotton. Best quality. And then Gauranga would choose what he liked. He would say, oh, okay, this looks good. And this also is nice. And then he would say, oh, I have no money. And what did the clothes merchant say? He said, sir, why do you speak about money? You go home, you wear the clothes, then when you have money you come and then you pay afterwards. Actually, this is happening until today in India. They were, Prabhu, just take, then bring money later. In one shop, this near Amity, this across from me, this I heard he's Radharaman Goswami. Yeah? No, I heard Radharaman Goswami. And I chose Amla and something else, and I said, Prabhu, how much is this? He said, Prabhu, what is this? This is your shop. Why are you asking? Give what you want. What is this? Like some strange person, like you are here for the first time. Just give what you think is good. Why ask? He felt insulted. What is this? As if it's not your shop. Special mood there. But of course, with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is especially special. So, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? What did Gauranga do? He smiled at the shopkeeper and looked mercifully at the shopkeeper. What do you want? That Gauranga looks at you mercifully. That's the perfection of life. If Gauranga looks at you one time, from the corner of his eye, mercifully, the whole universe, Vishram Purna Sukhayate, filled with happiness. You don't care about anything else. Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate. Heavenly pleasures is some phantasmagoria. Useless. Not interesting. If Gauranga looks at you from the corner of his eye. So he looks at this clothes merchant. Then he goes, he visits some cowherd people, and he says, oh, do you have some yogurt? And they say, oh, yes, we have yogurt, uncle, and we have also rice, we have ghee, we have butter, we have everything. Please take as much as possible. And don't you remember, you would always come to our place, life after life. And Vrindavan Das Thakur says, actually this was true. They lived also Braj in Vrindavan, and he would always take milk products from them. So he smiled and he laughed with them, ate some rice, and then he went on to a perfume shop. Perfume shop, all over perfume shops. What's a perfume shop? A perfume shop is a shop with natural oils. And natural oils, you should know, maybe you have, I remember in school we learned that rose oil is more expensive than gold. Have you heard it? It's very expensive. We have this experience in Vrindavan. I asked about aguru, because Chaitanya says that Krishna's body smells of aguru. That's something very true. So I asked him, do you have aguru oil? And he said, well, here's a little, this, something like this. Okay, this is 7 rupees. 7 rupees, which is like 10 cents. It's chemical, but it's it's aguru. Okay, it says chemical. It says aguru. Okay, I said, okay, can I have the natural, the real one? Yeah, sure, but we have to order. Okay, order. Okay, all right, I can wait. I'm here. And how much will it cost? I say, how much do you want? I said, the same like this. 10 milligrams, or yeah, 10 milligrams, how much will it cost? Well, 10 milligrams, okay, $3,000. Actually, sorry. So he comes to that perfume shop, and this man says, oh, this is a good one, and this is a fresh one, and this is another good one. So take this, and maybe you will like this one. And he offers him some little container with oil, and the man takes, and he says, oh, this smells very good. So, how much do I need to pay for this? And the oil merchant said, Prabhu, sir, why are you talking about money? You go home. You go home. You use it. And if after you take bath, you like how you smell, then you come and give whatever you think is good. After that, you take bath, yes, oil you use before bath, and after coming from Ganga, then you, if you like the smell of this perfume, then you give everything is proper. And what does Gauranga do? He looks mercifully at this oil merchant, giving him his blessings. And then he goes to the next shop, the pan seller. So pan, we don't eat pan because it slightly has something like intoxication. But it's, I'm sure all of you have eaten the cousin of pan, betel nut. The cousin of betel nut is noce muscato, nutmeg. Noce muscato. Everybody knows? How do you call it? So it's a cousin of betel nuts, and it's in fact stimulating for digestion. It has some stimulating. So they take it after food to stimulate to help digestion. There are some not very healthy mixtures, and there are some like normal mixtures. We even have this offered in the temples. Like in Radha Raman, they offer. There's a leaf and there is some nuts cut inside. It's the classic chewing gum. So then this betel nut seller, he prepares the best possible pan. Yes, he cuts the best nuts, he adds some other nuts, he adds some spice, cardamom, open cardamom, and he adds spices and he adds steak. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, how much does it cost? How much I owe you? And the seller says, Prabhu, please enjoy it. This is for you. I'm not charging anything. Don't bring me anything. It's my gift for you. happily. And Gauranga takes this and puts it in his mouth. Yes. Wouldn't it be nice if you cook something or you take a fruit and Gauranga comes? And he says, oh, what do you have? And you say, oh, I have an apple. He says, can I take? And he says, oh, please. And then he nice. And then he says, how much do I owe you? He says, prabhu, oh, please, just take it, just eat it, right? Wouldn't that be nice? So that's what he was doing. He's coming to every place. And he goes to the garland maker. And the garland maker, as soon as he sees Gauranga, he immediately takes the best garland he has, and he says, this is for you. And no charge. And my Pandit says, why no charge? He says, something tells me from my heart to give it to you like this. Just without money. Who else did he visit? So, weaver, perfumes, conch shell seller. And he gives him the best conch, with nice sound, beautiful conch. And he takes this conch and he says, no charge, please, just use it. Use it for your puja, use it wherever you want. And then, yes, he goes to the astrologer. He goes to the best astrologer in the town. Obviously, they had many good astrologers. So he goes to the good, famous astrologer. And he's so good, he can tell you your past life. It's rare. You cannot see really your past life from your horoscope. It doesn't really show, actually. Don't believe if anybody says you otherwise. It doesn't show. It's impossible to actually say it clearly. You can say something, you can see something, maybe some indications, but not precisely. So to see the past life, one has to be very advanced, and it's revealed in a meditation. Once in Jagannath Puri, you found a good Brahman astrologer, and he told us this and this, quoting Shastra, quoting Sanskrit for every thing he said. And then we asked everything we wanted to ask. Then we decided, oh, let's ask about past life. I said, can you tell us about past life? He said, oh. He said, tomorrow I will take bath. I will chant mantra, and I will meditate. And if I see, I will tell you. So come day after tomorrow in the evening. And if I see, I will tell you. If I don't see, I will not tell you. Honest. So he goes to this astrologer, and he says, you know, this and that. He says, who I was in my past life. And we have this story both in Chaitanya Bhagavat and in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, it's interesting. He chants his mantra, he goes into meditation, and then he sees all the Dashavatara, all the 10 incarnations. First Matsya, fish, and Kurma, the tortoise, all the 10 incarnations, 10 avatars. He sees that the source of all the creations. So then first he thinks, maybe this Brahmana makes fun of me. What is this? He chants, and he's the chant. This astrologer gets his power by chanting Gopal mantra. So he chants Gopal even more concentrated, in a more concentrated way. And it becomes even brighter. He chants even more focused. Krishnaya Govindaya. And it becomes even more bright. He's bewildered, he thinks, this is strange. What is this? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, so, what do you seek? He says, sir, according to my meditation, my chanting, and your chart, in your past life, you have been the absolute truth. And Gauranga laughs. He said, I'm not sure if you're a good astrologer, because I know that I was, in my past life, a cowherd boy. And I was protecting cows. That's why I'm a Brahmana now. So in Chaitanya Bhagavad, this astrologer says, sir, let me do more puja, meditation, and then I will see better. But obviously he could see Gauranga. I don't know why, but I just like these few visits. It's a short place in 12th chapter, verse 108, and a few more verses. These stories demonstrate the exchange between Chaitanya and Mahaprabhu and his devotees. And what is the highest gift he can give us? The highest gift he can give us is drive us mad with attraction in love of God. That's the highest. Nothing is higher. If he charms us completely, bewilders us, turns our head, and we can only think Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, and we want to just give things to him. And we are happiest when he takes, or when he comes and asks. Or just, can you please sing this tune for me, please? He comes and says, yes, of course, my pleasure, my ecstasy. So that's Mahaprabhu's mercy, and he gives all kinds of mercy. He is very merciful. He is Karuna Avatar. He is the most merciful avatar. Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna. You are the most Mahavadanya, the most magnanimous, the most kind. So he comes and he wants, if you can give whatever you can. If not, just take. Okay, no problem, just take. Just listen with pleasure, hear with pleasure, eat with pleasure. Bhagavad Gita, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if somebody just hears, somebody reads, he worships me with intelligence. Somebody just hears without criticizing. He goes to Dhruvaloka. He goes to a spiritual planet in this universe, where he gets a wonderful association until he becomes fully perfect to go to the spiritual world. And everybody has some talent you can use for Krishna. You can, sometimes you don't even know you have this talent. I know so many devotees who are wonderful singers, and they didn't know they are a singer before they became a Hare Krishna. Some became wonderful cooks. Some became wonderful administrators and leaders and managers. Some have become wonderful book distributors. So you can sing, you can chant, there are so many things you can do. So you can find something you can give to Gauranga. And I have a personal agenda here, Hare Krishna. If you need an idea what you can give to Gauranga, you can dictate audiobooks. I have listened all the audio. We have Mahibharata's brother, Simon, who dictated several books. But there is more. And also there are purports. Yes? So you can read them in Slovenian. You can read them in Croatian. You can read them in Serbian. You can read them in Bosnia. You can read them in English also. We don't, until today, we don't have this in English with the purports. And don't feel shy. If I have an accent or something, no problem. I will listen happily. Because it's not there. in English, for example. Right? So that's book distribution. You know, nowadays all the books are already online. You can just give the, where it is, and they can already read, and it works. You just need to, more important is interest, to create interest in a person, create a question, create some trust or attraction or faith. So if you, for example, make some audiobooks, that means at least 50, 100 people will listen to you. You have distributed 100, just imagine if you could distribute 100 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. It's a wonderful service. And you read and you speak and it's all together is there. It's a good service. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. That's my motivated piece. So, I think literacy levels are high. You can read. I hope. So, you can read. You can read aloud, record, and then put it online somewhere. Archive.org. Tell us where, and we will listen. Happily. So many things. Make garlands. Dance to Krishna. Hear. Chant. Associate. Smile. If necessary, frown. Where appropriate. where is more appropriate. And main thing, let's try to connect with Gauranga. One way or another. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And so it goes in waves. Hare Krishna. Questions, points, comments, anything? You want to? Yes?
Can you put some other slow?
Pardon?
По-словенски, А легко прийдеш на духовний світ само за одним процесом.
Само за един процес.
Ти дивись процес.
Ja, seveda.
Brez džape.
Yes. Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, one process is enough. Any process. Can you go to the spiritual world just with one process? Any process. One process. Without japa. Rupa Goswami says, yes, you can. And we have examples. Akrura was just praying. Arjuna was a friend. Hanuman was serving. So they did just one process, but perfect. Okay? Perfect. So, yes. Otherwise, we have a special offer, promotion deal from Srila Prabhupada, where he says, you have these just principles, and follow these principles, chant just 16 rounds of Hare Krishna without offense. And you go in this life to the spiritual world. It's a very good deal. His mercy. You come on 16 rounds. Haridas Thakur was chanting 192 rounds. There are still the ones who do this. Yeah, if 16 rounds are difficult, try chanting 64. Then it will become completely clear. 16 rounds is not difficult. Something else? Yes?
Hare Krishna, thank you for this lecture. Please, could you explain us how we can today connect, pray, or meditate to Sri Gauranga?
Yes, you can share with one person what is your personal favorite lila of Gauranga. Everybody can think, is there some lila which you like especially? You may not know why, but you like it. So you can think about this. Which lila do you like? What attracts you? And again, you can pray, you can try to offer something to him. When you can try to, you can, this is the new year, you can make some new year resolution. Dear Gauranga, I intend that this year I will be even more humble. Of course, it's all right, it's impossible, but because again, this is some special love magic. If he takes, if he accepts, maybe he'll do like he did with those merchants. He'll come and he'll take. Or as he did with Sudama Brahmana by snatching out this rice that he had. And he considered this is so much, this rice. He brought this rice, just a morsel. He didn't even have anything in his house. He asked his wife, do we have anything? They didn't, so she asked from the neighbors. And he brought, and he saw this, palace that Krishna had, sapphire walls, coral columns, and emerald floors. A good idea for our temple. It's bona fide. It's bona fide. Yeah. Emerald floor is okay. And so he felt shy. I need some guidance here. How long can I talk? 1 hour or only half hour? I should have finished already. Okay, then 20 minutes only. So you're ready, yeah? You're waiting for me to shut up. So I'm just asking because I don't know. I know it's already time, but I don't know how far you are. Yeah? Okay. But this is such a good story, I must tell you. Sudama comes and he sees this opulence and he thinks, I'm not giving it. This chira, this flat rice. Usually it smells, if you go to India, this is traveler's food, cheapest food. It's usually like 8 rupees. Normal rice 30 rupees, this rice 7 rupees. And usually it smells with mice. Because it's in the shop somewhere in the corner. And also basmati somewhere. So he says, I'm not giving it. But then Krishna says, no, you must have brought something. And then he says, oh, what is this? And he says, I have some, what is this? Oh, you brought some chira rice from Port Bandar. And he takes one and it's good. Yes, and then Rukmini, she smiles and she holds his hand. And one smile, different meanings. She looks at Krishna. She looks at Krishna, and Krishna understands. She looks at, it's in the text that Krishna. One morsel you ate, you already made me his slave. I already don't know what can I give to him. That's already more than I can give. If you eat 3 morsels, you want to throw me out of the house so that I always with Sudama, please. To the co-wives, to the other, or maidservants, her friends, girls, she smiles in such a way that they understand, oh, if he eats another morsel of this rice, he'll have bad stomach. It's very coarse, very rough. She smiles to them. And to Sudama she smiles that, dear Brahmana, I want to distribute it to all of my friends, some Mahaprasad. If Krishna eats everything, we will have no Mahaprasad. So everybody is very happy. One smile, everybody understands the perfect thing, everybody is very satisfied. Krishna can come and take it, even by force. But you can think, you can find something that you can give. You can meditate, you can try to offer some quality this year, some service this year that you think will be a good service. And if he takes, that is also a blessing. This is a blessing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Purnima 531 ki jai, ISKCON Slovenia, ISKCON Ljubljana ki jai, Gaura my humble obeisances. Vancha kalpadrivishta.
His Grace Adi Purusha Prabhu ki
Naughty thief Gauranga ki transcendental.
Hare Krishna, tako kot je Adi Purusha Prabhu omenil, se pravi, vsi imamo neko sposobnost, katero lahko